Hey guys, thanks for gathering here. Thanks for our citizen action, our American patriots here, uncovering waste, standing up for American values. I wanted to ask you, we had the Democrats celebrating in Washington this week with this historic health care bill. It's going to solve all our problems. The government's going to control everything. Are you feeling better already?
Yeah, I'm feeling sicker.
Well, I know a couple companies are not, and we had news coming out today as we're sifting through this 2,500-page monstrosity that we have companies that are laying off, getting ready for layoffs already. They're saying the government controls the cuts, the mandates. This is what we all knew was going to happen. So as the celebrations die down on the Democrat side, and as we lick our wounds and get going here, we're going to see, unfortunately, the mess that this is causing for us here. And I'll tell you, I know this process started over a year ago where they started talking about health care, and there was town hall meetings, and as we got through August and I found out Maurice Hinchy wasn't having a town hall, we hosted one. I've learned, I've talked to physicians, I've talked to Americans about their problems with the healthcare system, and I think the good thing about this process is a lot of good ideas have come up for healthcare reform in terms of more choice in insurance across state lines, medical malpractice reform, helping small businesses partner together. Unfortunately, almost all of those good ideas did not make it in this monstrosity. And they've pushed and they've pushed and they've pushed on it. We've told them no, time and time again, and yet they crammed this bill through on a Sunday, strong-arming members of Congress, backroom deals galore through this. My question to you and to the voters of this district and of the United States are, have you had enough?
We've had enough!
All right, we've had enough. And I'll tell you, I was down in Washington just this Thursday meeting with folks. I met with Eric Cantor. I've met with Mike Pence. They've been our leaders. I met with them just on Thursday in the fight here. We've got 3 words that we're going through right now. One is reveal it. We got to reveal every single word of this 2,500 pages. How is it taking away our freedom? How is it taking away our liberties? What's in this bill? And what is it going to cost us here? And what we're seeing already here is that it amounts to the largest tax increase in American history when we can least afford it. It amounts to a government takeover of 1/6 of our economy. Second, we're going to repeal it. But that's what this election's about. We need new members down in there. We're going to repeal the bill that's in place. We're going to put in the good ideas that I talked about. And that's the third R, actually, that we're focusing on to replace it. Reveal, repeal, and replace are the 3 R's that we're focusing on. Now, I know healthcare fits into the larger question that we're talking about here, a government that's just simply out of control right now in terms of spending. And let's look at things just for a moment on the macro level. We've had the bailouts. We've had the so-called stimulus that's created very few, if any, jobs. We have a $12 trillion national debt right now. We're adding healthcare onto that. New numbers came out just this week. We are at $500 billion almost added on to the debt. And I looked at my calendar. We're not even out of the 3rd month of the year yet. We're going in the wrong track. This is a critical moment here for American history to try to get us back on the right track. But it comes down to, I guess you could call it the micro level as well, for this out-of-control spending and projects, including the project we're talking about today that's for the birds, as we all know. But let's look at some other things that are going down in our government. In the last couple years, we've funded the Cowgirl Hall of Fame in Texas. Why is taxpayer money going to that? We put money into genetic research for grapes. Why are we researching projects like that? Nancy Pelosi took $1 million for California to protect some rare bird to stop a construction project. $1 million out in California. My personal favorite one of waste is in Ames, Iowa. They've taken over $1 million to study the effects of odor from swine in Ames, Iowa. And if that smells rotten, it is. They've said that we're the party of no, and we're not. We have our ideas that we're going to be putting forward here, but if it's saying no to health care and the bill that they just put forward, if it's saying no to projects like this, if it's saying no to billions in waste, I'm all for that, and I'll be saying no right down there next year in Washington. If you look forward to where we go from here, once we get in office, what are we going to do? I'm offering a bold plan for America, and it starts with cutting waste. We could save billions of dollars in waste. We need to have our government operate under the same principles that our families operate under and that our businesses operate under, and that's cutting back in difficult times here. Washington keeps growing. Washington's out of control. I remember when I was a congressional aide 8 years ago writing a letter saying, I can't believe to our constituents we're spending $2 trillion a year. Now we're spending $4 trillion a year. Our bold plan for America calls for an audit of the federal government, similar to what Ronald Reagan did, bringing in business leaders, scouring the federal government for waste and inefficiencies. President Reagan found, his experts found 1/3 of federal spending was wasteful and inefficient. It made recommendations for cutting it, which unfortunately were never enacted upon. We need to consolidate and eliminate government agencies that aren't doing critical things for our constitutional mandates and for the American public. We need to roll back the Obama spending spree. And if we do those three things, we can save billions of dollars. We can bring them back into our communities, not in the form of pork barrel and wasteful projects, but in the form of real tax relief for Americans, for businesses, to get this economy going again and to get this great nation going again. And so those are the principles that we're going to stand on as we go forward here. If you've had enough, come to our side here. Help us out here in this massive grassroots effort that we're going. We've had phone calls in my hometown of Binghamton going from January. We had 2 phone banks going on today. One we just left in Wurtsboro, another one in the Kingston area. Go to our website, elect George Phillips for Congress. Give us your ideas on this race here. Sign up to help. We need your prayers. We need your support. We need our financial donations as well. There's so much riding on this race here. And I'll
George,
tell you,
with that said, you need the financial donations?
yes.
We have here to present to you over $800 right
Thank
now
you.
for your campaign.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to get more today.
Yeah.
And with our help and our work together, we're going to put Maurice back onto retirement.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. And I got to tell you, this comes at a critical time. Talking to the national guys in Washington, they want to see Hinchy lose. He's one of the most disliked members of Congress down there for some of the things he's done in terms of the legislation he's been pushing on the fairness doctrine, to silence talk radio, on land grabs. I know we're talking about a national park here. He's been doing things out west for years. He said on the stimulus plan he was upset. He wanted to spend another $1 trillion. He wasn't going to vote for the health care plan, not because he was worried about the government takeover. He was worried it wasn't enough of a government takeover. He wants a single-payer plan. So the guys in Washington are looking at us. March 31st is a critical date, and we're trying to hit a fundraising number by that. We're working just round the clock on it. We've got 4 events coming up in the next 4 days. I'm going up to Saugerties. We're going to be in Esopus on Wednesday night. Check out our website if you want to come to any of our events. And we're moving. We're going to hit this fundraising deadline. We're working on the grassroots level, and there's a lot riding on this election, as we all know. I see people with flags, and I see people from the Tea Party movement, and when that vote went down on Sunday, I was in Kingston with some folks who'd just been on the bus down there. I mentioned I'm an American history teacher, and I'll tell you, I'm proud to teach the Constitution to young people and tell them what the defined roles of the federal government are. And we see a government that has simply just gotten out of control today, but we're at a critical moment. And I want to leave you with, before we open it up to some more questions, 3 images from the American Revolution. There was the Boston Tea Party, but that was in 1773. The Declaration, of course, came in 1776. And in the interim, one of the British diplomats said to John Adams, he said, "Sir, do you think we can stop this revolution?" And he said, "The revolution is in their hearts." And I think that's what we're feeling here today, that Americans have fed up. Yeah. Americans have had enough. The revolution is in our hearts now. And there's no turning back from it, just like back in 1773 and those years leading up to the Declaration. A second image I want to leave you with is from Benjamin Franklin after the Constitutional Convention, when we came up with that great document